Welcome to Inspiring Discussions. I'm your host, Ashley Janae, here to inspire and discuss. Welcome to Inspiring Discussions, Episode 2. I'm your host, Ashley Janae, and I just want to first give thanks to God for blessing me to do another episode of Inspiring Discussions. And I want to thank all of the listeners for tuning in to Episode 1 and today's episode. I really appreciate it. And today's episode is going to be about achieving your goals and why you should never give up on your goals. So let's get into it. I'm sure you all have goals, whether they are short-term goals or long-term goals. But however, a goal is a goal that can be achieved. You just have to put in the work and effort to achieve your goal or goals, because it won't happen if you don't put in the work and the effort to do so. So you just can't come up with a goal and then just don't have a game plan to, put it in place. You got to figure out what you're going to do, and you got to stay consistent with it as well. So your short-term goal or goals may be to find a better job. You can do that as long as you have an idea what you are looking for. So your resume should be up to date, staying persistent, and never put your eggs in one basket. And that saying is so true. For instance, don't just apply for one position or job and don't and then just wait on them to call you back and things like that. You want to go out there and see what else is out there that may be suitable for you. So if you're looking for a job, let's say in customer service, and you decide you may want to work at Walmart or Target, don't just apply to those two places. Go to other places. I mean, they might have a job at Best Buy for you, or Burlington, anything with dealing with the customers. So you just don't want to just put all your eggs in one basket or just apply for one place. You want to really get out there and see what's out there. And you may have a goal to go to the gym or work out more to be able to get back into shape, which some people may want to do, to reduce health issues, or to cut down to be able to fit their wedding dress for all of the ladies that might be getting married soon. Or you may want to shed the extra baby weight from having kids, or to just rock that two-piece bikini or on your honeymoon, or for the fellas that want to walk around the beach shirtless, looking fly, feeling comfortable showing off that six-pack, looking like something off Baywatch. So it's definitely possible. You just got to put in the work to do it. And also the effort. And then it's all about discipline too. And I'm gonna talk more about discipline. And I understand everyone may not have the time every day to go to the gym, and that's fine because everyone has a life. We all have things we might have to do. So, but even if it just means walking around the block to walk your dog, or that's if you have one, or if you walk around with your significant other, walking with your kids, or just to get a breeze, as long as you are working toward that goal. And then if you have workout gear at home, do it. If you are an early morning person, let that be the first thing that you do when you wake up. Or if you're a nighttime person, let that be the last thing you do before you go to bed. Because believe it or not, when you do work out before you go to bed, you feel tired and you sleep better. Because I've worked out before in the past before I went to bed, and I slept pretty good because it's like you done burnt off all that energy and everything, and now you're just ready to go to sleep. And it might help you go to sleep at a reasonable time too, because they say you need about 8 hours of sleep. Sometimes it might be hard to get that 8 hours, so you can at least do like maybe 7 hours of sleep. Something to where you could be able to get your rest and be energized for the next morning. And the more you stick with that goal, you're gonna see results. I mean, and then sometimes they might take about a month or two to see, but you just got to remember the purpose of that goal. You got to think to yourself, okay, I know I want to stay in shape. I don't want any health issues. I'm finna get married next year. I'm finna go on my honeymoon. So you just have to remember your purpose to achieve that goal. And then just don't stop. Keep on doing it until you get it. And then and only you can stop you. You the only one that could get in your way. And I'm gonna talk more about that later on. And you also may have a goal to clean out your car garage. Just do it. Don't procrastinate about it. Just get out there and do it. And you just never know what you might find as you are cleaning. And you may come across a tricycle that one of your kids used to have when they was little. And I'm sure that'll bring back memories and things like that. You might find that drill or hammer or screwdriver you've been looking for so long. Or you might find some old pictures of you when you was little, pictures of you when you went to another state, when you went to a family reunion, when you went to a party where you was lit, and then graduated elementary, high school, or maybe college. You never know what you might find. You might probably find some money, so achieving your goal to clean out your car garage may help you recover lost items or take you down memory lane. So just do it, get it out the way. If you have a goal to finish a book, just do it. Believe it or not, there are some great books out there that are page turners. Like this book that I'm reading right now, it's called The Black Girl's Guide to Financial Freedom by Miss Paris Woods. And I must say, that is a very great book. And it's going to really teach you how to budget, how to invest, how to get out of debt, and most importantly, retire early. So if you're trying to get yourself back on track financially, this is the book for you. And regardless of the title, I just think, in my opinion, everybody needs to get that book so that way they can know how to budget, and then so that way they can be able to get out of debt, and most importantly, retire early, because you really don't want to retire into you don't want to wait until you're 65, because 65 is not guaranteed. So it's just best that you try to retire early and learn how to invest early, so you never have to work these dead end jobs again. You could basically be your own boss. And that's what she's teaching you too. And then she's giving you her own personal experiences as well. And I just think it's a very great book. And you can purchase this book from Amazon. And also check out this other book called White Lines by Rodis Hunt. Now, it's a very great book that teaches life lessons that are very true and that everyone should abide by. And if they do, I feel like this world would be much better. People will understand each other more. And it's definitely a page turner. So that book can definitely be purchased from Amazon. So, but if you want to finish a book in a timely manner, just read the book every day. Take it with you to work, so you can read it on your break, or if you take the train or you take Uber, just read the book while you are going wherever you're going. So that way you stay consistent with it, and you understand what's going on. Or you can read before you go to bed. That's if you don't go to sleep while you're reading, which can happen, but it's all good. Or just read a chapter each day to stay in tune with the book. If you have a goal to start a podcast, you can definitely do it. Just think of the topics you want to talk about, and then you really want to talk about something that you know you could talk about for many minutes or probably hours. Something that's going to get everybody's attention. Because originally, when I had started my podcast, I thought I was only going to do one podcast, but I ended up doing two because I knew I wanted to talk more about inspiration. I also wanted to talk about my one of my first loves, which is wrestling. So I knew I wanted to do that. And it's just all about management, though. And then it's also, too, all about keeping yourself organized and writing down important facts, and also just writing down all of your ideas that you want to discuss. And that's the way you just keep yourself organized. Like right now, I just write down different episodes and things like that, stuff I want to discuss and stuff that may be relatable and relevant info that should be shared as well. That's how I keep myself on track, and that's what I recommend for any listener out there who's interested in starting a podcast. Just keep yourself organized. Just write down your ideas, and also just stay persistent with it, and then know exactly what you're going to talk about. And in order to set up a podcast, you need a podcast hosting site where you can record, edit, and type in the details of the podcast. Like I use Anchor as my podcast hosting site, but there are other ones you can use like Buzzsprout, Transistor, Spreaker, Captivate, and Podbean. But I really like Anchor. It's because it makes it easier to create an episode, edit, and it's great for new podcasters. And I like that Anchor is affiliated with Spotify. So once you publish it, it goes to Spotify, and it might take some time for it to appear, but it's going to be on there. And you can also put it on different streaming sites like iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And sometimes it might go on there automatically, but it's just good to look at all of the different streaming apps out there, so that way it's out there, and you have it and you're putting it out there. And then also you want to be able to promote your podcast as well. So social media is definitely the key. So you could do put it all on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, all of those social medias, and Snapchat and TikTok as well. So those are beneficial to use too to put your podcast out there. And then just also just put it out there. Let everybody know, like your family and peers know about it. And also you could post clips on social media about your podcast, because it's this app called Headliner where you could just find a clip from your podcast, choose it, and then put it on social media. That helps too to kind of give the listeners an idea of what you're going to be talking about. And then you want to also look at websites that can help grow your podcast as well, too. That can definitely help you in the long run. And then also, too, just you can create merchandise for your podcast to sell it. So you can either make it off Teesprings or Printify, and then you just go from there. And then they'll let you set up your own website as well. And then just like I said earlier, just stay persistent with it. You know, keep on writing down your ideas, keep on writing down your episodes, and also keep track of the guests you may want to have on your show. Like some people may want to have 2 guests a week, maybe 3 guests, another week. Just keep track of the guests that you want to be able to bring on your show. And then you also have a choice whether you're going to go weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever suits you, because at the end of the day this does take time and dedication. So that's why I was stressing in the beginning, just to make sure you just keep yourself organized, write down everything, all of your ideas and everything, and then just basically just stay with it. That's the best advice I can give anyone that wants to start a podcast. So those are some examples of short-term goals. Just keep in mind it's very possible to achieve. You just got to put in the work and the time and just do it. Now it's time to get into long-term goals. Let's get into it. I'm sure a lot of you listeners have a lot of long-term goals, which is great. So this is the time now to start planning for those long-term goals. Like for instance, you may want to save up for that dream car you always wanted. You may want that Mercedes Benz, a Tesla, a Porsche, which just happened to be my dream car, a Lexus, a Jag, or maybe you want that Mustang, Camaro, Challenger, Corvette, or that Lamborghini. Just throwing it out there. You can definitely save for it if you don't want a car note, because not a lot of people want to be stuck with car notes. They don't want to pay a note for 3 or 4 years when they could use their money on something else. So if you can eliminate a car note and just pay the car in cash, you can do that. But it's just going to take a while to do it, and you just got to stay persistent. So if you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, just make sure you put money aside for that dream car. And also too, just do your research on it. See what dealerships have the car, and then see what they how much they are willing to, how much it is for sale and stuff like that. You want to be able to do all your research. You want to look at the quality of the car and all of that. And then too, you got to look at the maintenance of the car, because I mean you have to keep gas in the car, you have to keep the oil change, the tires, all of that stuff to keep the car running. So you want to look at the cost of all of that. But if you discipline yourself and everything, you could be able to take care of the maintenance of the car, and then you could just do whatever you want to do. You may want to get a sound system, rims, maybe some TVs in the car, Hemi engine. This is your dream car. So go all out, set it up the way you want it to be. Now, if you're not able to save up for the full amount, that's understandable. It's not the end of the world. So if you want to put down maybe $5,000 or $10,000, you save to put towards it, that's fine to knock down the cost of the car. And you may not have to pay a note for a long period of time as well. Now, if you are going to finance the car, that's fine, but make sure it's what you're willing to pay, not what the dealer wants you to pay. That's how they get people thinking they supposed to pay what the dealer wants them to pay, but that's not how it works. So if you're going to finance, come up with a price you want to pay. Make sure your interest rate is low. You want below a 5, not nothing over 5. And your APR, which is your annual percentage rate, you want that to be a 5 or below as well. And when you test driving the car, make sure you get a feel for what it's going to be like driving the car, since it's going to be your dream car and it's going to be a part of you. So make sure it really feels like it's for you. And then you want to make sure your credit is where it needs to be, and then to be able to fulfill getting that dream car, because you don't want to get ripped off and have to pay a whole lot of money on a car note because your credit is not where it needs to be. Because you don't want to just you don't want them to tell you in order for us to approve you for this, you have to put down 5,000, and nobody ain't trying to do that. So you don't want to go through that, so the bank could approve you. That is, you don't want to go through it. And you paying, and you're going to also pay a lot on the note too. And they also do a Kelley Blue Book on that car to make sure that the cost is the same as it is in the dealership. And also your interest at APR is going to be high too. It might be in the double digits, and that's what you definitely don't want. You may decide in the future you want to buy a home, which is one of the most important investments you're going to ever do. So if you ever thinking about buying a home in the future, just think about the size home you want. Do you want a real big house, or do you want average size house that may have maybe 3 bedrooms, 2 baths? You kind of have to have an idea what type of house you're looking for. And then also too, just start searching. Just drive around in some of the areas you may want to go to, look online, and then also you can find a realtor too that could really help you find what you're looking for. And then also too, just look at the neighborhoods too. You don't want to go anywhere. You come home from work, your door kicked in. Don't nobody want to go through that. So you always want to do your research on the different areas. You want to try to the different areas that the houses are at. You want to look at areas that you really want to be in. Some you want to look at decent and safe areas if you have a family and things like that. And also look at what you're willing to pay for the house. It's you can always negotiate on what you're willing to pay and things like that. And then to see what the bank is going to approve, and then make sure that this is the house that's really for you, that you can really see yourself in for a long period of time. And if you decide to sell it, make sure that the house is kept up in good condition, so that way you can sell it and get something better. So that's what I would really recommend doing if you're looking into buying a home. And also too, again, like I said before about when you want to get your dream car, make sure your credit is up to standing, because they're not going to, bank is not going to approve you with bad credit, and you won't be able to get that dream home of yours. So make sure everything is together as far as your credit, what you're willing to pay, the area you want to go to for the house, and what type of house you are looking for. Just make sure you do all of that, and you won't have no issues with getting your dream home. And also, there are a lot of responsibilities for keeping up a home. Of course, you have to pay the mortgage, water bill. Then you have to pay property taxes. And of course, you have your light bill and your gas bill. Also, make sure you have home insurance just in case anything happens, whether it's a flood or fire or anything. Make sure you have home insurance. You may have a long-term goal of pursuing your dream career. Like I said earlier, do it and find your purpose. Make sure this is what you want to do. Make sure you live in your dream and not someone else's dream, like your mom's dream or dad's dream, for instance, because their dream is not your dream. And I feel bad for people living for other people and not themselves, because they're very unhappy and they're not fulfilling their destiny, and their life is too short to not fulfill your destiny. So if you want to be a fashion designer, designer clothes for celebrities, but just do it. But if your mom insists on you being a doctor, let her know that's not my dream. This outfit I'm making is my dream career. So whatever your dream career is, just do it. It means going back to school for it. Do it and get that bachelor's degree, master's degree, doctorate degree, or PhD. Just go and do it and live your dream for you, not for nobody else. You may have a long-term goal of starting a family, which is a beautiful thing, because you're basically extending your legacy, so that's a good thing. But you and your significant other should have an idea on how many kids you all want or maybe would like to have. And I would say choose wisely, because kids are expensive. They require so much and need so much, and they also want to spend up your money. So that's why it's important to have discussions like that. You may decide to travel around the world. So make sure you have a real ID because pretty soon you are going to need that to travel around domestically from state to state. And of course, you want to have your passport handy too, just in case you want to go to Aruba or the Bahamas. And make sure you save money for these trips too. So that way you could be able to get souvenirs and everything and just buy the stuff you really want to buy when you're down there. And then you can also write down a list or get a poster board with pictures of places you want to travel to inspire you to go to these places. So if you want to go to Paris, just get a picture of the Eiffel Tower. And if you want to go to New York City, get a picture of the Statue of Liberty as a reminder of I'm going there really soon. You may decide you want to start a business and you can do that. But I would just say, in my opinion, start off small to see what happens. So, because you have to remember too, you have to crawl before you walk. And you also want to know what type of business you want. Do you want a clothing business, accessories business, mobile business, food business, childcare business, or pet business? You can do it, but it's just take a lot of hard work, patience, research, dedication, some paperwork, and support. If you have all of those tools, you ready. And don't be afraid to do it because I always remember fear ain't gonna get you nowhere. And you may decide eventually down the line you want to move to a new state or country. And it can be scary because you're not used to being living in a new state or new country. But again, fear won't get you anywhere. So the only thing you can do is think about the situation, pray about it, and then do research on the state or country you're trying to go to. And then make sure it's a good move for you or your family. And also visit the state or country more often as well. You want to get a good look at everything. Make sure you can picture yourself living there. And then you want to look at the cost of living. And then you just want to make sure it's affordable. And then make sure you can find a job or continue with your career out there. And make sure you find a nice home or apartment so you can have shelter. So that way you'll be ready to go once you get down there. So overall, all of those goals are very possible to achieve. Just don't give up. Stay persistent, do your research, and most importantly, execute, meaning just do it. Don't get me wrong, some of these goals that you all may want to do, they might not be that easy because you're going to go through something to achieve it, but just keep on fighting through and don't let nobody discourage you either. And then I'm sure all of the successful people that we see that are millionaires or billionaires, I'm sure they went through something to be where they are at now. So think of it as your story, your testimony, your path to redemption that got you where you want to be and that can inspire others to do it as well. Because in my opinion, I think short-term goals should come before long-term goals because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. Always remember you have to crawl before you walk and you have to put the horse before the carriage because if you try to do all that at the same time, you will overwhelm yourself and that can lead to discouragement. So definitely I encourage you all to take care of your short-term goals first before you take care of your long-term goals. And I also want to discuss why you should never give up on your goals. I mentioned a few minutes ago that not all goals are going to be easy to achieve, and you're going to go through some things to achieve it. So if this goal is something that you really want to do, just go for it. It may be hard in the beginning, but it definitely will get better. Just pray about it and work towards it every day, and you're going to get there. And then you have to also just be patient, persistent, and positive. And another reason you should never give up on your goals is because life is definitely too short. So life is not guaranteed to nobody. Look at what's going on in the world right now. Here today, gone tomorrow. So that's why I really wanted to really do this episode to inspire all of the listeners out there to just go and achieve your goals while you're still here and breathing. Because you never know what tomorrow may bring. And every day give thanks for another day to achieve your goal or goals. And another reason why you should never give up is because you don't want any regrets. You don't want to be like, well, oh, I shouldn't have did this, and oh, I should have did that. Like that's not the way you want to live because you only get one life to live. So that's why it's important to just go all out, achieve your goals, and keep it moving. Also, don't make up no excuses on why you can't achieve all of your goals. Don't be saying, oh, I'm too old. I don't know how to do it. It's too hard. My back hurt. What had happened was just don't do that to yourself, because all you're going to do is hurt yourself down the line. So that's why it's important to don't procrastinate. Don't make up excuses. Just go ahead and do it. And it's not, and again, it's not easy, but it just takes time and dedication. And I know that life can be hard right now, but you just have to manage the best way you can. So all you have to do is just take it day by day, as I mentioned earlier. And I mentioned earlier that I was going to talk about only you can stop you, discipline, and being a visual goal planner. So what I mean that only you can stop you is meaning you in control of your destiny. You decide if you want to fail or succeed, or if you want to sink or swim. Now, with discipline, this just means you need to stay on top of your goals. Don't break your routine. Now, as a visual goal planner, you just want to basically write down your goals, either draw a picture, or like I said earlier, get the poster board and check off every goal, and then have your pictures on there as well. And their word of advice is, it's never too late to achieve your goals. Just do it, and don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. Well, that's going to do it for Aspiring Discussions episode 2. I hope I was able to inspire you all out there and achieve them goals. Start off with your short-term goals first, and then get to your long-term goals second. And most importantly, just do it. And don't be afraid to achieve them, because you are in control of your destiny. So please subscribe to Inspiring Discussions. And please subscribe to my second podcast as well, at Wrestling Discussions. And please leave a review. That would be greatly appreciated. And if anyone is interested, I have some merchandise on my website. Please feel free to browse around and see what you all may like. I have a sale right now on my website, $5 off of your order. That will last until March 15, 2023. And I'm going to leave the link and promo code to use for the discount in the description box. And also, I'm going to leave the link in the description box if anyone is interested in those 2 books I mentioned earlier. And you can also follow me on Instagram at BlueShades1993. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in to Aspiring Discussions. I'm your host, Ashley Janae. Stay safe and God bless you all.